How's it going? This is the Green Machine live post-match reaction, and as you can see, we've done the business, Nick. Well, in the end, it was a comfortable result. It was a little bit ropey for parts of that, but it seems that Mister the Knight in Shining Armor, that will be the first of many shit jokes. I'm sure we'll have tonight. He came on, he's changed the game. We've finished 3-0 victors in Luxembourg. We have exorcised the ghosts, the demons of the 1-0 embarrassment 230 something days ago. So there you go. We're third in the group, Nick. We finished strongly. Like I have said from day one that this campaign was all about finishing strongly. Not one to say I told you so. I am one to tell you I told you so. So there you are. It wasn't the finest performance, shall we say? But let's hear from our lovely fans. Before actually, sorry, Nick, we'll speak to yourself in a second. I'm a bit all over the shop, but I want to hear from you guys out there, followers of the page. I want to hear what you think of that. Are you happy? Is Stephen Kenny a shoe in for the job now? That's it. He has to have a contract no matter what anyone else says. We're going to let those comments build up. So please get your comments. Whatever you want to say it. We'll play it. And we'll go through your comments there. I want to hear the Kenny doubters. I want to hear from you lot. And I want to hear from everyone, really. So, Nick, there you go. Upward trajectory. Easy for me to say. There you have it. 3 points. It wasn't. We're a bit blessed, weren't we? They had the ball in the back of the net. Dodgy. Probably soft. No, probably not as soft as our one against Portugal the other night. But these things do swing around best, don't they?
Yeah, look, I mean, we probably should have had a penalty in the first half, shouldn't we? And look,
Yeah.
it's a soft foul on Duffy for the goal. But what I kind of thought, like my mindset, kind of coming towards full time was under Mick McCarthy, second era, or under Martin O'Neill or under Trapattoni. If we're that under the cosh against one of these smaller nations that are, play decent football, do we score 3 goals in the second half? I don't think so. And I mean, there will be this whole narrative in the next few days that, I mean, every argument. I mean, when people lose a Kenny out argument, they say, well, he lost to Luxembourg. That's irrelevant now. He's beaten them 3-0 away from home. Look, they dominated us at spells, but we've spoken about having the performances and not getting the results. We've had a really strong finish to a game there. We're in the past with stronger teams and stronger personnel. We don't come away with 3 goals there, and we don't come away with the win. And momentum, again, a word that I love using at the moment. It's momentum going into next year, and it's also the resilience that they've shown, throughout the game as well. I mean, some sloppiness in that game. I think Luxembourg really took it to us. I think on the whole basis of it, we did deserve the win. I think we could have been 2-0 up at half time. I think Luxembourg could have been 2-0 up just after the first half. But I mean, look, we have to take that. You have to admire Stephen Kenny's substitutions there, apart from Alan Brown. But anyway, I mean, Jason Knight coming on for the impact there, 2 assists. So it's we keep talking about progress and we keep talking about evidential progress. We lost 1-0 to Luxembourg in March. We've after beating them 3-0 away, haven't been under the cosh for a bit of time. So it's showing that we're learning. I think Stephen Kenny still has a lot to learn with some of his selections. Yeah. And maybe how he sets us up in midfield. But apart from that, it shows progress. It's evidential progress.
Adam Maida, for me, I don't think he did much. He did, I was watching it on Sky Sports. I still haven't seen the third goal. Fucking internet went at the wrong time. So I'm just, if you see me kind of look at this, I'm just trying to see the third goal come up on the Sky Sports feed. But they were, talking about Ida, he sort of, a bit of a David McGoldrick sort of coming back in and trying to get possession instead of staying upfield. But I don't think he had a great game. And to be fair with McLean, I know he helped set up the third goal as well. I did find him quite ineffective. I think for me, I know we got the 3 points, whatever, but I still would have gone with Doherty as a left wing back. I would have put Amabamba Denny. Maybe he wasn't fit. I don't know, or perhaps Collins in there. With Coleman on the right. I like it when we have three midfielders on. I really do. McGrath came on. We just looked so much better, didn't we? I mean, we could have been 2-0 up at half time. We also could have been 2-0 down. We got very sloppy, you know. But I think the footballing side, like on the pitch, kind of let us down in parts. But I do think mentally, we were very, very good. I think Jason Knight has to be one of the first names on the team sheet. He just really turned the game on its head completely. Ogbeni, I thought he was very, very dangerous from the get-go. He was really at it, wasn't he, tonight? And he was rewarded with a goal. Callum Robinson, he was busy, but I thought obviously his touchdown down a lot, didn't he? He's very unorthodox.
His physicality is always his physicality's always been an issue. He's very light. I think he's one of these players when he drops short, he tries to make things happen, and we haven't had a player like that for a long time. And I mean, against Azerbaijan, he was creating things out of nothing. So, in terms of Knight and Ogbeni kind of being the first names in the team sheet, I mean, Ogbeni does make things happen, but I mean, been having this discussion with people during the match. He's a guy that you'd love to see come off the bench. I think his end product has to improve, but you can see his fitness and you can see his athleticism. He's a serious athlete. And when he was playing, I mean, even though he played the full game, when he was playing against those Luxembourg players that were tiring, he was unplayable at times. The only thing is, with a player like that, they have to have end product, or else all the running and all the pace can let them down. It was a great finish with the goal. Very, very composed, and he was very effective. He got man of the match. RT gave him man of the match.
Okay.
So I think that was fair. I would have given it to Matt Doherty. I think he didn't get much of a twist in terms of praise in that game. But Knight as well, I mean, showing that he's a great impact off the bench. I mean, if you're looking at a midfield three, Knight is looking at one of the best all-round players there. He's one of these players who's very, very busy, and again, he does a lot of the running, but you can see his gradual improvements in the last year. Technical ability, all of that kind of stuff. Even the the third goal that he set up. I mean, it's so simplistic. Where another player slices it, or another player mishits it, or another player just lets it go. It's just a simple touch inside, and Robinson taps it in. So I mean, he's shown that we have a lot of depth in midfield, and it was very, very promising.
I really liked Doherty's vision. I thought like some of the passing, there was one with McLean, I think, running onto it, and okay, it didn't quite work off, but it was just, it's very easy to watch it when you watch it on the telly, aren't you? And you could see the angle of the telecam, and he just saw it straight over. So he really is a good player, Doherty, when he's on, showing a bit of form, and he's obviously, he's been one of our very regular performers now for Ireland. Josh Cullen, don't think he had a game for Ireland. He needs to do more, I think, on the ball. He's very good at keeping the ball rolling and keeping everything ticking, but it can be too conservative at times for me. There was one there in the first half, I think it was 20 minute, and McLean was out on the wing, and there was loads of space, and you're thinking, just outside of the right boot, just flick it, just bit of bang, outside the right boot. We'll get, that will unleash McLean.
I think that's how we set up. I think that's how we set up, though, David. I think you can see the priority with Stephen Kenny is to keep hold of the ball, and he doesn't want the lads to force it. Same with McLean. Like, I mean, I know I give out about McLean and how he takes a lot of momentum out of the attack, but McLean knows that he's a sloppy player, and he knows now he had a great delivery for the third goal, but he knows that. Yeah. He's better off cutting back inside and holding onto the ball and keeping possession rolling than making a dart for the corner flag and trying to whip a ball in. So it's they're under instruction to do that. And the same as Cullen. Sometimes it's about backing yourself, but if you force it and you lose possession, then that's the game plan out the window. So to be fair to Cullen, I mean, he's playing that position that Glenn Whelan played for 10 years plus. The only difference is he shows for the ball. Glenn Whelan never showed for the ball playing for Ireland. He shows for the ball. He gets into that kind of, I hate this word again, similar to that whole false nine kind of terminology, but the pivot. Gets into the pivot, and he's just available at every outlet in midfield. And that's how your kind of holding midfielder should be. So he's serving a very good purpose.
No. Listen, I just think he could do more. I just think he could do a bit more. As I said, just that one there tonight. That's just one example. It's just one that sticks in the mind. He flicks it with the outside of the right boot, bang. There was loads of space, loads of time. Actually, it was the same against Portugal. We had a great view. We were block 116 actually, and the amount of times that Matt Doherty was free on the right wing going forward in the first half, and you're like, just play the fucking ball, like just hit it, and he didn't, and he
Yeah.
kind of held on, and then that momentum was lost. So it's not just tonight. I listen. I'm a big fan of Josh Cullen. I do like it. His movement is always forward. Pass is always forward. But it just for me, I just don't think he does it quick enough. Let's go through some of the comments here. Keep your comments coming in, by the way. We got a few now. And let's have a chat. Damien Murray, great win in the Tango kit. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It looks all right in the numbers with the numbers and everything. I thought,
Yeah,
Nick.
just wouldn't be buying it. But yeah, looks fine in a kind of match setup, but I wouldn't be
You wouldn't be
spending
buying
money
it.
on it, to
No,
be fair.
sorry, John Courtney.
No, don't be sorry.
Fan, fan, fan of
Don't
the
be sorry.
podcast.
He thrives off criticism, as we know.
Yes, he does. Mark Reagan, Jason Knight, class in the grass. He was. He really was. He really. He's back fully fit now. He's playing regularly again for Derby. So he has to be one of the. He has to be involved, and you have to remember this is the end of another campaign, so we might have a couple of players retiring as well, like or they might be phased out. Maybe James McLean, who knows? Jason Knight was absolutely immense. Yes, he was. Keelan Gormley, great night, lads. Oh,
Hey,
I see what you did
I
there,
like
Keelan.
it.
I like it. Justin Toole. Hello, Justin. Justin's a good friend of mine from London. And he continues, what's this? What's going on, David? Yes, Justin, this is my alter ego. I am the host of a moderately successful niche sort of podcast streaming thing that we do. So welcome along, Justin. Sam McCarthy, really big last 30 minutes there. Night superb. Ogbeni is loving every second, and his work rate is unreal. Third in the group feels good. Looks like Portugal might be finishing second. Yes, they lost. We'll probably see a
They
few
lost
points
2-1,
there.
yeah. So I'm fairly disappointed tonight. But look, it's okay. Ireland won. Ireland won, and that's the main thing.
That is the
Ronaldo
only
might
thing.
not be going to the World Cup.
Oh, well, do you know what? It's Portugal's fault for indulging him. Same like your
Yeah.
team as well. Your other team indulges him as well, doesn't it? I just think it's funny. But anyway, Michael Drew, get Kelly signed up immediately, going in the right direction. Players are definitely playing for him. Absolutely fabulous football by Ireland tonight. Michael Drew, yes. I mean, what was it Jason McAteer said? He won't get the respected players. That's opinion. It was a wrong opinion, and we always felt actually, Nick, didn't we? It was the incorrect opinion. But I think what boiled my piss about that, and a lot of people's piss about that, was when afterwards he was very sort of like, well, I'm not one. Well, I think when we lost in the first fixture, oh well, I got slated for this, sort of like kind of bragging about it. I think that just angered me. But anyway, maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. Sorry, Justin, we saw that as well. Ogbeni was very impressive again. Orange kick, Kenny and Koi Big, Donka or Donica. Yeah, absolutely, get him in. Who knew James McLean would look so good in orange? Stephen Ring, controversial. I'm not sure if actually any family members watch this. Probably do. I told you McLean would go well. Great pass for last goal. Well, good man, Stephen Mack. You did. Now you see, Nick, you just have to believe.
Don't know. I mean, look, great delivery at the end, but as I said, though, I mean, what I criticize McLean for, it's the fact that he takes momentum out of the game. But we said same with Cullen. It's about recycling the ball, and it's about trying to keep possession. And I suppose he does that very well. It's been a completely different campaign from McLean, and that's all down to Stephen Kenny. He's been excellent.
Yeah, he has. We've certainly improved him. Colin, excuse me. Told you to wait after the TV coverage was over. Delighted for Kenny, Bazunu, Robinson, and the team as a whole. And what about Big Duffy? Yep, a bit of a touchy pass there in the second half. A suicidal pass, actually, was really mental stuff. We just bashed it, and we were very lucky. Thankfully, Bazunu, who, my God, has he grown? What a player he is. But yeah, we rode a look a bit. But you know what? We deserved it. We've had crap decisions. We've had the COVID nonsense. We've had a load of shit go wrong. And do you know what? We'll take it. Eric Dalton, Ogbenny is such a breath of fresh air. Big shout out to McLean, had a great game. Credit due. Fair enough. Donica again. Ogbenny was impressive again. Orange kit, though, is awful. There's only one Stephen Kenny, Coy Big. Don't say that, Donica. Fucking John Courtney might be watching us now and he'd be. Justin, too nice to see you, Dave. Great catch up. Have fun. Hopefully, see you in the near future, Justin. Carl McCoy, Portugal lose. Yes, they did 2-1 at home. They line up to go to the World Cup. How terrible. Eamon Devlin McLean had a good game tonight. He did. Much to the chagrin of Mr. John Malter's Portuguese lookalike. Pat Roach, at least 60 minutes of good football there tonight. Went flat for a while because we're missing a creative player. Hendrick back to his usual. Tonight, 5-10. Yeah,
it was very clear we needed a third man there in midfield, and then Kenny brings on Knight. Now, Knight went a bit wide, but it just showed that Kenny had the know-how to put the extra man in there. So again, progress in its own right.
And here's another thing he's learning: in-game management. What was one of the first things that I used to slate Kenny about? And by the way, some of you out there, yes, I have actually criticised Stephen Kenny. Although some of you think my head is firmly wedged up his arse. It might be after tonight, never know. But yes, in-game management. That was one of his key issues. He'd be waiting to like the 80th minute to make a change that should have been happening on the 60th. So he brought
similar to Mick McCarthy, though, isn't it? Like early Mick McCarthy days, it was all about his substitutions. They were poorly timed, poorly selected. Like Kenny, I know that everyone probably thinks that we're extremely pro Kenny. We're pro Kenny, but there's a lot he has to learn. I mean, as I said, like selection, he is learning. But that's the thing, like he is learning, and there's things he wouldn't have gotten right at the start of the campaign that he's getting right now, and there is still a lot he can learn. Like there are some selections he could polish off a bit more, and there are some personnel he could be drafting in that are maybe missing out. But I mean, look, I mean, but there's evidence he's learning, and there's evidence that he's responding to these things. So he's reflective. Where in the past, you could see evidential deficiencies and you could see evidential mistakes that Martin O'Neill was making and Trapattoni was making, and there was no change. There was no change. It was just a template. You could see there was very little coaching going on, and you could see that there was very little planning going on. So, this Martin O'Neill and Trapattoni, if they're under the cosh like this tonight, I think we come away with the draw. And they'll all Mick McCarthy as well, second era. I think back to that Georgia game, very, very similar kind of environment and very, very similar kind of game. And we come away with 3 goals. And I think it's 4 clean sheets on the trot. I think we've only lost 1 in 10, and that's against Portugal. So it's progress. Progress upon progress.
Yeah, it's getting better. I mean, what did people expect? You go in and you're tearing up philosophy, had to be changed. And then people, we need we should be beating this team and that team. I mean, it was always give the guy a chance and it's going to get better. Anyway, I'm not going to get started in that. David Carley, what a game. Ronaldo, who? And just actually to finish up on the Mick McCarthy thing, that was one of Mick McCarthy's huge assets as Ireland manager. How many games did he win or salvage from his substitutions? I think Steve Finnan against Germany. Noel Quinn against Germany. Steve Finnan against Holland. And you'd make all these little changes, and anyway. Carl McCoy overall. Sorry, Dave Carley. Yes, Ronaldo who indeed. Carl McCoy overall, he was very passive. I think we're talking about McLean here, Carl. Obviously, when he crossed well. He plays differently way differently than before. Poor old Liam Brady offering praise to gritted teeth. I'll look forward to looking at that later on, David, when it all settles down on Twitter. Carl McCoy, Doherty was very good for me. He was.
Doherty was man of the match. Ogbene got man of the match, but Doherty was man of the match for me because he's constantly getting, like, the problem with our players in the last decade or so is you haven't got that player who's going to put the foot in the ball and actually have a go and take chances. And you've got that with Callum Robinson, don't you? But sometimes he's muscled out of it very easily. But Doherty, he's always looking at driving forward. He's always looking at picking the passes. There was that ball over the top that Robinson was very unlucky not to get to. So I thought he was man of the match. I think a lot of I don't think Doherty gets half the amount of praise for Ireland that he deserves. Thought he was excellent against Portugal.
Yeah,
I thought he
his
was.
vision.
I thought he was probably man of the match against Serbia as well. And he doesn't get the praise. It's the likes of Ogbene. He had a good game, but you know, Doherty's a different level. I mean, Doherty's playing well. He's on the Spurs bench, isn't he? In Ogbene's League One, but you know, I think credit where credit's due for Doherty, and he was excellent. He was very very good tonight.
He was. Joe, continuing on from our pre-match foreplay. Joe Bell, accumulator up, season ticket paid for. Come on, you boys agree. Good man, Joe. See, here's a man who bets smart. Great result from Brian Healy. Yes, indeed. Pat Roach comes, Joe will be looking after the ball, though. Keep it going without risking things. I agree with that, Pat, but sometimes if the ball's on, it's on. If it's on, it's on. You know, even if you don't have to be too clever. I just wish he'd just be a little bit more creative. But I do agree with you there. That is his job. Paul Culleton, bring on the Nations League. Hopefully we get a kind draw on December 16th. Yes, December 16th. I can't wait because I'm going to start going to the away matches again, unless Europe goes into lockdown, which I really hope it doesn't, or I hope none of us do. Connor Nolan, midfielder on any team is the key. Yep. Definitely. Stephen Ring, Hendricks pass tonight for the second was top play. It really was. It was a lovely ball. He actually almost scored, didn't he? He did quite well. He flicked it forward and he blamed it over the bar, but he was definitely showing a lot of endeavour there. Tony Doherty, well done, Ireland. Tony from Derry, I presume. Mick McLaughlin, good impact off the bench from Knight. Great result away, lads. We are improving, a bit more to do, but looks positive. Totally positive. And yes, we have more to do. Sarah Cullen, well done. A win is a win. It certainly is, Sarah. Matt to say, great to finish third, but Jays is so much better than life in March. Mark Koopmans, totally. We're getting stronger and better. The players now know what they want to do.
But again, this is going to completely change the narrative because the whole you lost to Luxembourg at home. Just remember, like as well, the COVID withdrawals in March. There was no crowd in March, so there's all these little factors that people have to consider. And you know, the thing as well, not that long ago, again, Breen, not to have a go at Breen, but he was saying, you know, we're at the level of Luxembourg. We've no right to be beating Luxembourg anymore. I never bought that. I never ever bought that. And I don't think many people did buy that. And I don't think it was unreasonable to think that we should be beating Azerbaijan and we should be beating Luxembourg. And we've done it. Like it was a mess. It had been a mess for all of 6 months. And Kenny has steadied his own ship. The ship that other people wanted another manager to steady, and he's steadied that himself, and he's completely swung the narrative. I think, though, and again, this is kind of an important point, I think in Ireland, with any sport, whether it be the football, you look at the rugby last night, you look at any sport, we're very extreme when it comes to success and failure. And I think in March, everyone was thinking, well, this is it for the next 2 decades, we're fucked. And it was never the case. And you know, it's similar to, say, Martin O'Neill at the end of his regime, the same with Stan. It's kind of catastrophized by the media. And it was never really like that. You know, it shouldn't have really been like that. And Kenny, again, needed time. He needed things to even out with the COVID situation, needed the crowds back. There was loads of little factors that weren't working his way. But, you know, we go from one extreme to another, and now we're at the other extreme where we're thinking we're going to win the Euros, which is fine. But I think there has to be, you know, there has to be a bit of realism from March and thinking, yeah, it was bad, but there was always potential to turn things around, and it's happened. But we do that, Dave. We and as I said, with any sport, like look at the rugby yesterday, we beat New Zealand. People are going to think we're going to win the Grand Slam. And then if we lose the opening game of the Six Nations, it's the extreme opposite. We're screwed again for the next 10 years, you know.
Very extreme, the way some people are going on. Like, it's why we were Ragball Rovers. I mean, look, I've always said it, you know, to progress, you can have the talent, but you need to have your house in order. And we didn't have a house in order because you had a guy coming in, tearing the house down, building up from scratch. It was just going to take time. It was going to take time. I'm not saying like we're going to go in and start winning things. We're just in an upward trajectory. Like we are, you know, the evidence is there. But, you know, the Kenny naysayers, they're going to keep going back. Oh, we're finished third. You know, we're going to celebrate the fact we finished third. It's not about that. It was about going in, doing something that needed to be done for years, tearing it all down again. It wasn't working. There was no longevity left in that plan. And then basically coming in and then doing that and building it back up again. It was always going to take time. I don't know what people expected, you know, and I just thought the way some fans went on about how before a ball was even kicked. Oh, we want this guy out. Like, he's League of Ireland. He's not a foreign
But
manager.
David, a lot of these people. So we being, I suppose the nature of what we do, we're exposed to a lot of people who go to all the matches and they do watch Ireland religiously and they would watch Irish players religiously. A lot of that narrative is coming from people who are casual viewers of the Irish football team and they watch Premier League, Champions League, and they're comparing everything to that. So you have to put context. You have to put context into all of these things, and
Context is
and
king.
as I said, a lot of these people, like, because I mean, I'm not saying that we know every single season ticket holder, we know every fan that travels to the away games. It's not like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's the same people we come across, whether it be through the podcast or whether it be through going to the games or whatever it is. And the people who you know are watching Ireland, there is a recurring narrative that they were Kenny in, and it's the people who are Kenny out. I mean, not that you haven't heard of them. I mean, no one has a God-given right to be an Ireland fan or not to be an Ireland fan. It's not like that. It's not an elite club. But you can tell that they are, Premier League fans. They're used to watching the elite. They're used to watching the creme de la creme. International level is very different. It's inconsistent. It's unpredictable, and they're expecting perfection from every single player. And they're expecting perfection from Stephen Kenny. And unless you had, I don't know, Jurgen Klopp in charge of the Ireland team, or if you had, let's say we got Grealish and Rice and so on, and we had those players playing for us, they wouldn't be pleased with anything else. And certainly what we have, it is, it's a budget holiday of what they're used to, and it's not good enough for them. It'll never be good enough for them. But they have to be contextual, and they have to actually be realistic about their expectations versus the expectations of the other fans who actually watch Ireland consistently.
Absolutely. Jerry Delaney, are we celebrating being Luxembourg 3-0, 3-leg goals, but for 70 minutes, not much between the sides? Hard to see us qualify for any tournament. There you go, Jerry. Bit of positivity. No, Jerry, we're not celebrating that. We're not celebrating, really. We're happy. We have said that the performance wasn't great. But what is evident is that we're on an upward trajectory. A word that I have to stop trying to say because I can't pronounce it very well tonight. But we are. And, even you have to look at it. We've lost 1 of 10 games. I think we've had 4 clean sheets. People still want to point, it's funny how people want to point out statistics. Oh, we've only got X amount of points. Oh, we lost to this team. But when, when it favors them, but when you want to, use those statistics to sort of go against their argument, also, the only stat that means anything is the one up in the top left.
But there's so many things as well you have to say. Would this have happened in the last regime? Look, it was a shit start, and the start was unforgivable. But you are where you are, and you have to play from where you are. And there was 2 ways this could have gone. We could have gone in a complete downward spiral, and we could have kept losing. And remember, we went through that spell where we weren't scoring goals. We started scoring goals. And the other thing is, people talk about Qatar, Azerbaijan, Luxembourg. Remember a couple of years ago, we were scraping by Gibraltar. We were averaging, I think, 1 shot on target every 2 games. That means every second game we were getting a shot on target. We've made huge progress, and we weren't thumping your Azerbaijans or your Qatars or your Luxembourgs, or now we are. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of when Trapattoni first came in. And I know we slag off Trapattoni, but it was this whole thing that under Stan and under Brian Kerr, we were drawing or losing to the kind of average teams, or the teams you would think would be a level or a par below us. So like your Cypresses and so on. And then with Trapattoni, we started beating these teams. We started beating your Macedonias and your Cypresses and so on. So it's similar now. The difference is, like, we're thumping these teams that we would have just scraped by in the past, and that is progress. Would Martin O'Neill have gone to Luxembourg and won 3-0, or would he have gone to Azerbaijan and won 3-0? I don't think so. And he better players than Stephen Kenny does.
I thought a second goal. I haven't seen the third one yet because my internet cut out, and I will see. But I thought a second goal, the movement around that was just phenomenal, and that's the sort of football we want to see. Right, let's move through some of these comments. Mark Hootmans, bet Portugal rue not playing the first team on Thursday. Did they underestimate it? I think they did, which would be unwise because they were lucky to get the win against it. But there you go. For you there, Nick. Shush. Walters. David Cardy, can I ask why there's no place? Third place playoff?
It's not the Euros.
It's not the Euros, yeah.
The Euros has 24 teams, isn't it? So you can have your best placed thirds. World Cup, there's other confederations. It's not just us, sadly. So European places, although they have the most, they don't have anyone for third. I think in the past, like some World Cup groups, only one team has gone through in the slightly smaller groups, but that's changed a bit recently. But yeah, it's not the Euro, so it's a slightly different setup, unfortunately for us. I don't think we wouldn't have made it anyway. We would have been probably the lowest placed third team.
Mar is just sending. He's over in Luxembourg at the moment. We've got Dennis, who's a fan of the podcast. There he is, Dennis. Apparently,
what did he say, Mart? What did he say, David?
He said I should shag the Elsa
I think that's
doll.
key.
I should shag the Elsa doll.
If you haven't already.
I haven't yet. I'm saving that for Christmas.
You have to let it go, David.
I certainly will at Christmas. Darren Sweeney, good result.
Big summer blowout, yeah.
Big winter blowout. Good result. But this is a result we should be expecting time to get Kenny out. Everyone said we don't have the players. Some good young players. They're a lot more selected. So we're on a run of form. Players are playing from. They love playing from. We're starting to win matches. So time to sack the manager. Don't think I agree with your logic there, Darren. Brian Ford, looking forward to the Nations League campaign. Kenny is the right man for the job. Evgeny, definitely in line for a move come January. Yes, even in the championship would be fantastic. David Salter, Gavin Zunu's save was world class. It was. Genuinely think we could win league titles. Or he could win league titles for City in the future. We have a 15-year man. Yeah, he'll definitely be playing in the Premier League.
Can I just say, David, I know you wouldn't have seen it yourself, but the interview he did with RTE before the game, well, not before the game, but it would have been recorded, whatever, midweek. And I mean, he was so articulate and he was just so bubbly and he was such good crack. Because you see so many footballers now, like, wasn't Roy Keane slagging Harry Maguire because he was like, obviously it wasn't good. You see, like, it's an era where footballers will post shit on Instagram, empty promises and empty statements. They say obviously a lot, don't they? I fucking hate that. They say obviously every sentence, and they just there's no charisma and there's no meaning. It's all templated and it's all cold. Where Bazunu came out and he was so articulate, just the language he used was well beyond his years, and he was just really, really impressive. And I felt really proud. I was like, he's representing us. He's representing Ireland, and I'm proud of this guy. And if that's anything to go by, you can tell his professionalism is second to none. And I mean, the likes of Aaron Connolly, Michael Obafemi could learn a lot off him because he's going to go a long way, and it's simply down to his professionalism.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, look at the club he's at. And they rate him highly. He probably won't get in there, but that's not down to him. That's just, he might.
He's going to go far. Like he's going to be a top player. He's going to be a top goalkeeper. And he's the type of lad that would take the initiative and move abroad if he had to. Yeah. If he had to go to Germany or if he had to go wherever, he would be the kind of player that would take the initiative to do that. Where the likes of Connolly, he probably wants to be near the casino in Brighton.
Not a bad place to be fair.
I know. I don't blame him.
Right, Pat Roach, lads, are cashed out at 3-0. Pat. That is unfortunate, but at least he got something. Again, Ireland cheated out of a penalty too, but look, went away in the end. Fair enough. Jimmy Shell, Josh Cullum's my man in the match. Fair enough. I thought he was okay, but as I said earlier, he should be doing a bit more on the ball. Frank Gunn, Stephen Kenny deserves credit, doing a very good job. Absolutely. Deserves a new contract. Jimmy Shell, is that your cat talking, or are they jumping around celebrating like the rest of us? Luxembourg caused problems for Serbia and Portugal. Also, I don't have a cat. I have a rabbit. Do you have a cat?
No.
I'm going to say a rabbit. I don't mean like a sex doll fucking rabbit. Yeah. I mean an actual pet rabbit.
Portugal beat Luxembourg 5-0. To be fair, they did give them a bit of bother in Luxembourg, so I'll give them that. And yeah, Serbia actually struggled with them. I think they only beat them 1-0. Norway are probably, one of the star-studded European nations at the moment, aren't they? And I think they only beat them 1-0 kind of in the last minute. So they're a team on the up, Luxembourg. And I think, we said this the same bit as now Azerbaijan, the floodgates well and truly open towards the end of the campaign. But when we scored the 3 goals, they weren't conceding many. They're a very difficult team to break down. We managed to break them down. Qatar, Asian champions, again, another team very difficult to break down. We managed to break them down. So it's 3 teams three stubborn teams where in the past you're looking at a 0-0 or scraping a 1-0. You're kind of like your Georges, and we've thumped three of them. So that's progress in my eyes, and that's progress from even Mick McCarthy or Martin O'Neill.
Fair enough. Stephen Ring, I think a lot of people are talking down Luxembourg. They have played some great football throughout the campaign. I think they could be another Iceland the next few years. Could be. Their development is second to none. The investment there.
Three Champions League players.
Yeah, they're getting better. Look, they're getting better, and they're going to cause problems for other teams. But Luxembourg are definitely getting better. I thought this was the match to see if there's progress since March, and it clearly has been. Absolutely, Pat. That's what we're saying. Give the lad a chance. Let him get on about his work. Let the players breathe. There you are, Brian Ford. Nations League preview and reaction on the way, lads. Absolutely. 16th December is when the draw is, so we'll definitely do that. Sam McCarthy, exactly this. I don't know. Sorry, Sam, I don't know the context. That's in. David Carley, I'm a single ticket holder. Being a long time Ireland fan, I go home games. Need to do away games sometimes. The Portugal game was amazing. We had a goal, but this low. We definitely did, David. And get to it. If you've never been to an away match, get over there. They're special. They really are. The only reason why I haven't gone is because just work at the moment. But in the new year, absolutely. But they are great crack. Marcus O'Neill, great results tonight, improving. Even a solid team we had under Big Jack didn't put many past the teams away from home. Not even against Luxembourg, with one of the strongest 11s in world football, which is what we had in 1987. McDonald, Ogie, Lee Bray did Big Jack not dismiss you in 87 because your ego wouldn't work within a squad. Possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
And also that, and yeah, I think he lost his legs as well. He couldn't play in that system, unfortunately. Where are we again? David Carley, next up, Nations League and Euros. You guys season holders? Yes, I was before the COVID pandemic. I'm a season holder. Are you a season ticket holder?
I'm not, but I go to all the games, David. But I haven't bought a season ticket for a few years now. But I've been to nearly every game, nearly every home game of the last 3-4 years. Apart from Qatar, I was protesting against the blue jersey, which is actually lovely.
It's not lovely, but anyway. Nothing against the colour, blue or orange. Nothing to do. I just didn't like the design. I'm a season ticket holder, David. So's Kenny. He's on the post as well. And for years. And
Martin is as well, isn't he?
Martin is season ticket. He fucking shows up everywhere. Like he doesn't. Sorry, wrong one. Justin McLaughlin, blessed to have two quality young goalkeepers, Kelleher and Bazunu. Thoughts? Yeah, I can't really say too much about that.
Mark Travers as well, doing very well.
Yeah, he didn't do very well.
No, when we needed him
against Serbia.
I mean, like, goalkeeper's gone forever. Like, I mean, Gavin Bazunu is 19, and
madness,
if he stays injury free and he keeps developing, you're looking at 150 caps plus. You know, like something insane like that. And I mean, Kelleher and Travers mightn't get a look in. You know, like, and the thing is, it could literally be 10, 15 years by the time Kelleher or Travers get a look in. You know, and they'd still be kind of late 30s at that stage. So it's phenomenal depth that we have. And I mean, even Brian Maher, who plays for Bray Wanderers, I was watching him last night or 2 nights ago for the 21s, and you know, he's an excellent keeper as well. So we've a lot of depth there. We're very, very lucky. And even like, I mean, you've Sean McDermott playing in Norway, brilliant keeper, one of the best keepers in the Norwegian league, and he's nowhere near the squad. Darren Randolph has whatever amount of caps, nowhere near the squad. So we've 3 young lads who are, you know, they're going to be the focal point of the goalkeeping position for the next 20 years. Absolutely. Even, you know, if you know the way sports science is going.
We've always been blessed. Right, we're going to wrap this up with the last 2 comments. Stephen Ring, I think we have midfield cover for the next few years. Knight, Cullen and McGrath set up now. Only a matter of time before Gavin Kilkenny and Conor Coventry get called up. Absolutely. So we got quality. We just need a bloody forward. David Salter, I'm the only one that thinks that their disload goes a bit iffy. To be fair, Kenny was stupid. Look, shows the fitness of the Irish lads. Their lads wilted. Looking forward to buying the season ticket next month. Totally agree with you. Very, very soft, but we'll take it. Stephen Ring, Brian Maher with an excellent Duffy turn against Italy.
Yeah, it was.
And
Yeah,
took you.
it was. No, it was playing it back across goal, but it doesn't matter. They didn't concede from it. But yeah, he's excellent. He's a good little keeper. Mar, still
Yeah,
very young.
absolutely. And to finish up, David Carnley, have to say, your podcast is brilliant. I watch after games for Science Messaging. And thank you very much, David. And listen,
Thanks, David.
please do. And please keep messaging in. We love hearing from your comments. We love hearing your comments. We love hearing from everybody. Even if you don't agree with us, or at least with Nick anyway, everyone agrees with me because I'm fantastic. Just please, just want to hear from you. This is your chance. This is your podcast as well.
Share it with your friends as well, because I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get something like this pushed out. Like it's very hard to get this exposed. There's other platforms and other pages, and they're probably they're doing their bit and they're getting a lot of exposure. But I mean, we're relying on consistent listeners and subscribers and so on just to push us out a bit. So give us a hand,
Don't
because
sound too
we
desperate,
enjoy it,
Nick.
and it's just no,
Don't
it's more.
sound too.
But like it's about getting more people involved rather than, I mean, we're not doing this as a vanity project or anything. I mean, we're not making any money off it, but it's just to get the exposure and just to get more people involved will be excellent.
Oh,
You
fucking
deserve
load of comments.
I mean, you deserve it, David, if anything.
I do deserve it. I do deserve it. Oh, load of comments coming in there. Niall Barrett would be good bringing this momentum into the Nations League to help improve our ranking. David Sutter, cheers, lads. Great stuff as always. Thank you, David. Look after yourself. We'll see you in the next one. And final one. This is going to be the final one. Stephen Ring, any thoughts for live Q&A in the new year with a former player? Yeah, we've had former players and current some players lined up, and they've sort of pulled out at the last minute and have ended up on other particular other podcast, and you kind of go,
Yeah, quite literally. That's what's
weren't you
happened.
supposed?
Like they've,
That
yeah,
is what's
like
happened. It's like, weren't you
yeah,
supposed to be now? And then you're like,
yeah.
And then some of those lads, we won't mention any names, but this is true. This has happened. And basically, he's like, yeah, I'm all in there, lads, and then just stop responding, and then all of a sudden you see them somewhere else. Not really
On the night that we'd arranged.
On the night we'd arranged. That has happened.
Look, it happens. Well, look, I mean, Martin's got a few contacts lined up. I mean, depends on the purpose. I mean, the only thing is, like, the only thing I say, David, just to anyone listening, I mean, it's about getting someone unique, isn't it? Because you don't want to get someone on who's done millions of interviews and it's not new.
Yeah,
like, that's just boring, isn't it?
Cereal?
So once it's someone worthwhile, and once it's a story that hasn't been told a million times, I think it's worthwhile. But I think we always look at the purpose of episodes we do, and what's the point of doing this rather than repeating something that's been done a million times.
Absolutely.
So but yeah, I mean, definitely open to it. I mean, Martin's the man with the contacts, so we'll leave it to Martin to source someone. Yeah. But let us know who you want on. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, we've a couple of obscure ones lined up, but I mean, yeah, let us know who you want to have on, and we'll try and find them out for you.
Yeah, just don't say Robbie Keane. Just joking. I love Robbie Keane, actually. Great, very nice chap. Yeah, that's it, lads. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. 3-0, 3 points, and third in the group. 3 is most definitely the magic number. Steve Finnan, would love to get him on. Apparently, he's very difficult.
If we could find him, yeah.
Surely now that Jason Knight is playing, the fans should be checking out. What a night! Absolutely. 11-year-old Luxembourg fan runs onto the pitch full time, asks for Shane Duffy's jersey. Hey, find a little fucker. No, I'm just joking. No, just joking. You can't do that, or can you? I tell you what, the FAI are in dire straits financially. No, I'm just joking. Anyway, listen, thank you very much for joining us as always. We will try and get Martin O'Neill Part 4 out. We haven't done that yet, have we? All the notes are done.
No.
We're all ready to do it at some stage, and we will get it out there, and we'll continue on our topical podcast that we do. That I know that actually you guys really love hearing from, and we're going to have more content out because once the club football's underway, Nick, you're going to continue on doing our boys in green.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we started the new series, Our Boys in Green. So we'll be giving you a weekly update on how all the Irish lads got on in the squad and in the periphery. So yeah, I mean, the other thing with that is, we'll do the odd stream, we'll do the odd live stream for that, so it just gives a bit more of a platform for fans to
Absolutely.
interact and tell me when I've missed something, because it does happen.
Which will happen because I used to do it, and yeah, people used to take great pleasure in saying he actually played this weekend, or you spelt his name wrong, or don't call us Notts Forest. That was one I got into trouble for that one. And you're doing them, and you're like going through like about 60 names, and you just trying to go through it. But anyway, Stephen Hunt would be great to chat to John Walters. I actually tried to get Stephen
We've
Hunt
already got John Walters, our
There he
resident
is. He's right down
Portuguese
Dublin.
analyst.
I actually did. No, I swear to God, this is we could actually. This is the last story I'll tell us, and then we're going to wrap it up. But letting you guys in here on a little secret. So when I did an interview with Noel Mooney, back, it was the second one. It was his last act. It was after the Denmark match, and I remember I was kind of starting up a bit, and he just turns around and goes, like, you should be asking players, like, like, it was at the under-21s match, the 4-1 against Sweden. Goes, you should be asking ex-players. There's loads of ex-players here. You should be asking them to get them on your podcast. No, as a gentleman, no Mooney, like, he's always very helpful. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, there's Stephen Hunt over there. Like, you should be asking him. And I remember I just went to Noel and said, yeah, any advice on how it go about that? He goes, yeah, just fucking ask them. He's right too. And funny enough, I saw Stephen Hunt the next day at Dublin Airport, and I ran after him. I think it's 116 is where I flew out last time. A lot of the flights go up to the north of England, and the escalator goes down. We continue down the end, but this one goes down. I ran after him, said, "Oh yeah, how taking Noel's advice?" And I ran after him, like, any chance you come on the podcast? I go, oh yeah, absolutely, and hasn't come on. He wouldn't respond to my tweet. I tweeted him about it.
Someday.
Come on. So there you go. If you want Stephen Hunt on the show, lads, go after him on Twitter, and he'll come on. I'd love to talk to him. I always rated Stephen Hunt as a player. Seems like a very interesting cat. Anyway, right. Listen, we're gonna wrap it up there. Have a great night. We'll see you again on the next one down the road. And listen, look after yourselves. Be safe. Hopefully, the next game in the Six Nations, Jesus, in the Nations League, will get our reaction, and hopefully we'll get our first victory. Still haven't won. And anyway, right, hold on. I'm going to do my slick video. Nick, thank you very much, Sam. Look after yourself. And we are looking forward to the next one. So here you go.